the broadcast to go online, and I have to wait for a couple of minutes until I see myself on the screen. Hello, friends, we are live, and first of all, wish you all a very happy International Chess Day.
For a couple of
Today is
minutes until I
20th.
see myself on the screen.
Hold on, guys. I think. Okay, so today is 20th July, which is the International Chess Day, and we are proud chess players to have this day in the entire world, and we have to celebrate it as well. So it's great actually to be here with you all, guys, and you can see all the banners and everything up here. Wishing you all the best that you can have in chess, in your life, in your career on this beautiful day. And we are going to start tournament very soon in about 30 seconds. We have few IDs which are coming in for the request. I have noted down the IDs. Ronit has now requested us to get the IDs, get his game analyzed. So I'm just writing down his ID, and you can also send in your request, guys, if you are playing the game and you are playing this tournament, and if you want to join, if you want to analyze your game. So in 6 seconds, let me just disable this beautiful window out there, and let's go to the tournament now. So here we are on the tournament and it started right on the moment. So let's first check the unknown win is the first person who has requested us to analyze his game. Okay, and he is playing right now. He's playing against SRB 96. So let's check his game, guys. E4 E5 is played E4 E5. So the unknown winner is from the GM Vishi's Anand's Fan Chess Club. I think this is a new version of the Best Chess Lovers. And Sujal SSP Dambe says, thanks, sir. Hello, Sujal. How are you? Hope you're doing good. I know your ID is Rasika, and if you're playing today, just let me know. I will analyze your game as well. So E4, E5 was played here. E4 was played by the unknown winner. Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop C4, Bishop C5, and Castle. This is the Italian game, guys, wherein you can also play here C3, which can convert it into a Geico piano, or you also have option to play here B4, which is the Ivan's Gambit, which is a very risky opening, but that's how you can play. You can go for three knights also by playing knight to c3, and I think there are other small moves which are not considered mainly. So these are all the major moves that you can consider. D3 is also one of the options which is played here. So knight f6 was played here, and then pawn to d4, e takes d4, pawn to e5, and pawn to d5. So this is the right way to answer this aggression from white side by playing d5. So this pawn attacks the knight and the pawn attacks the bishop. So this actually ends up in the very tactical positions. This kind of openings are very tactical, and you have to be prepared for all the tactical variations because the calculations go around 7 to 8 moves minimum deep. So you have to be precise when you're playing this aggressive and risky openings, guys. Okay, so let's see what happened in the game. E takes f6, d takes c4, and now rook e1 check, and bishop e6, knight g4, pawn g6, knight takes e6, f takes e6, rook takes e6. Okay, I was expecting rook takes e6 here, which could have probably king could have escaped to f7 after that, and then probably I'm not sure what would be the follow-up move. Probably queen e2, trying to just get the c4 pawn and do a discover attack on the king. That was possibility. So queen g4 was preferred over queen rook takes e6, and now rook takes e6 was played. King f7, and now rook comes back to e1. Now there is one dangerous threat over here. If this rook is allowed to come on this e8 square, if rook takes, and then this rook can deliver a checkmate on the e1 square. Okay, so it will be not easier checkmate because knight d to knight f1 can be played to save it, but still white would have to suffer a bit in this kind of opening. So bringing rook back is probably the nice idea. And when rook is attacked, bishop d2 can be played, queen to f5, offering an exchange here. But if you look here, this is a live position, guys. So if you look here, black has managed to equalize, not just equalize, but to just slightly get an upper hand over here according to me because of all the pawn structures that he has, plus this d4 pawn and the f5 pawns which are sitting away nicely. And now white is having this double pawn, so I think this is not the right position or a happy position for white here. Black is already winning. It's just that there are few moves like now this bishop f4, okay, which might get missed sometimes at this c7 is getting attacked right now, so it has to be saved. So black decides to play knight c5 to block bishop's attack. Bishop takes, rook takes, and rook takes, king takes, rook check should be in favor of black because king is already advanced and we have this passer coming on very quickly. So endgame is in favorable of is in favor of black here. So white has to make sure that he doesn't enter the endgame over here. Instead of entering the endgame, he can try to create some kind of tactics or something which might help him. Probably here, I think rook has to get activated, but there is no scope for the rook. a4, a5 can be played right now just to capture here and create a b6 as a target. But this rook can go to, yeah, a4 is played now. So rook can go to a8, this rook can come to b8, and everything I think is fine for black later on. So the game is still going on, but the point is, guys, that whenever you analyze your game, you should be in the position to actually realize at what moment you started losing the grip on the game. So for unknown winner, let's see what happened here. So when he was playing from white side, and hello guys, sorry, I think there was some connection problem. I just tried to fix it, and I think I'm back online. The if viewers you're able to see me, just let me know in the comment section. I'm just making sure that I'm available right now. Yes, I think I'm live. So let's start, guys. I think there was some problem, technical problem with the internet connection, but I'm live, back live with you guys. So just give me a second, guys. So we are analyzing this game, guys. So wherein unknown winner was on unknown winner has done this opening, and he has actually the d4 move actually, which was not a perfect move. I think this is a theory, but still I feel that these are the risky openings, and you have to be very prepared here, the unknown winner, if you want to win in this openings. Okay, so e takes d4, e5, and pawn to d5. We have e takes f6, d takes c4, rook to e1 check, bishop e6, and knight to g5. This was again a very nice move, knight g5, just trying to destroy this, but I think it's manageable from black side because g6 is actually g6 is actually taking care of all the problems that are there in the black's camp. So knight takes e6 is a simple move here. Knight takes e6 was played, f takes e6, and queen to g4 was played here. Probably this rook takes e6 could have been a better move. I'm not sure about that, but it is something that you can consider as white. Rook takes e6 and then queen e2 move, and then try to play bishop g5, bishop at 6, and bishop g7 here. So that is something that you could have tried from white side, but let's see what happened in the game quickly. Let's fast forward, and queen g4, queen d5, rook takes e6, queen king to f7, rook to e1, and then we have rook to e8, bishop to d2, and queen to f5, queen takes f5, e takes f5, and g takes f5, and knight a6. And I think this is all lost for white because of all the double pawns and the weaknesses in the position. These three are the weak pawns here, which are vulnerable to attack, and they should be captured very soon. So bishop f4 was played, knight to e5, king to f1, and pawn to c5. We have pawn to a4, knight to c6, bishop to g3, pawn to c3, and bishop check, and then okay, king to f7, and then we have rook to d1, rook takes, king takes, and rook check again. So this actually, the problem was that these double pawns. So this knight a3 move was not the best move again, which has put a big question mark in the position, because that is how black probably will is going to win in this game actually. So knight to b4 now, and look at this move. Immediately it is attacking both the weaknesses, and I think this is a final nail in the coffin for white. So as white, the unknown winner, you have to take care of a couple of things. The d4 move in the opening, you have to prepare it very well if you want to play, or if you don't like this aggressive open positions, you can go for close and stable positions by playing d3, or a simpler move instead of d4 over there. Okay, pawn c2, and we have rook to c1, pawn d3, and I think, yeah, that should be game over. So that's the end of the game. Let's go back to the tournament, guys, and try to find the next game. Abhishek Srivastav is the next person who has requested us. Uh, okay, there are a lot of requests coming in, guys. Oh, let me just quickly. Unknown winner has, we have checked your game. Jilani is the next one. Jilani, I think, is the Afsha. Afsha, I remember your name, Jilani. Okay, this is the next one, and then we have request coming in from Jilani again. Chess player 91. Okay, chess player, we will take your game. So this is all the players who are in queue, and we are going to check all the games today, guys. This is the International Chess Day, and I cannot disappoint anyone actually. And then we have Hemank. Hemank has requested us. Hemank 123, and then Anonymous has requested us. It's a nice idea, Anonymous. It itself says I don't have a name. So Anonymous, and then yeah, I think that's it. So let's pick up Abhishek's game, which is the next one in the list. So guys, meanwhile, if you have any questions, just let me know. And most importantly, I'm happy and very very happy actually. International Chess Day to all of my viewers and all of our subscribers. I hope you're having a great day today, and chess is something that you can enjoy for your complete life out there. So just don't miss this beautiful day in the life. It's International Chess Day, 20th of July. Okay, so let's start with Abhishek's game. Abhishek Srivastava must be playing. Yeah, he's playing right now. And I am getting a call from the coaches. Okay, so he's playing against, he has lost against Arson Chess. Let's check his game. Arson Chess is 2300 rated player. That's a great rating, guys. Our Sanchez versus Abhishek Srivastav. Let's check what happened in the game. D4, D5 was played. C4, E6, Knight C3, Bishop to B4. And let me just refresh this page. It's weird, behaving weirdly on the screen. So Queen takes D5 was played here. Knight to f3. Okay, so let's go couple of moves back. So bishop b4 was played here, and queen takes d5. Okay, knight f3 is okay. Pawn bishop takes, pawn takes, queen a5. And I think, Abhishek, this is where you started losing your initiative. Queen a5 is not at all required right now. Right now, what you need is very quick development with a c5 break. Okay, that's what you need right now. So you have to play knight f6 first here. Try to control this e4 square from knight f6. If required, this knight can go to this d7 square. Bishop can go to b6, bishop b7, and then probably, if you want, you can go for either c5 break, or you can go for e5 break. Try to attack the center and create good pressure on white by attacking the center. What does black have? Black has some tactics like this bishop a3 and attacking this rook on the f8 square when after your castling is done. So you have to take care of those tactics, the small little tactics where black and white can try to get a rook for a bishop, that is exchange for a bishop. So you have to take care of those minor things in the position when this is happening. Okay, so be careful, guys. So this bishop a3 and other traps might be harmful for you in this position. Let's see. So queen a5 is something, Abhishek. There is a first moment in the game where I think you have started losing the grip on the position. Bishop d2, yes, you are helping your opponent to develop the bishop with an indirect attack on your queen. So that is not the way you should. You're gifting your opponent a tempo here. So knight to c6, and again I think this is not the right move. Knight should go to d7 in this positions. Knight d7, knight f6. The reason is, guys, you don't have the dark square bishop now, and if this knight is on f6 and this bishop is on g5 and knight e4 or knight d5 is not possible, then bishop takes f6 is going to create a double pawn on the f6 and f7 squares. So you have to be very, very, very careful, guys, here. Okay, I'm just making sure that I am also following the chat. Yeah. Okay, I think that's fine. Nothing to worry about. Just making sure that my live stream is working right now with you guys. And if you feel that there is any audio or video problem, just let me know in the comment section, guys. I'll be happy to fix it. So in this, okay, so I have few comment. That is what I was wondering about. I have comment from the best. Hi says the best says hi. Hello the best. I am not able to see your name, so just a hi and happy International Day to you. Just International Day to you. Kushagra is back. Kushagra, good to see you back online on the live stream, and a very happy International Chess Day to you also. This is Tanmay here. Okay, Tanmay, good to see you, Tanmay, online, and yes, enjoying chess. Good to see you on the live broadcast. Let me go back to the screen now, and this is the game which is going on. So f6, knight f6 is something which is problematic. Let's see what happened in the game. Pawn e4, yes. So white has rightly taken control of all the central squares now. Now imagine, Abhishek, if you're listening to this commentary, instead of queen a5, if you had played knight f6, then e4 was not possible here. You could have had a better control on the e4 square. Okay, and then we have knight f6, bishop d3, and castles, and this is all good for white now. Now look at these two bishops, guys. These two are pointing towards the king side, and some time and some point in the game, this is going to be the winning factor for white. Dapate Madan says, can you analyze my game in the last? Dapate, sure, I can analyze your game, but I don't remember your ID. Can you please give your ID? And there are around 8 people in the queue, so you will be the ninth one. I'll try to cover your game as well, so don't worry. Just share your ID, Dapate Madan. So this is the nice little bishop sitting on the d3 and the d2 squares. The unknown winner. Okay, Dapate Madan, I have already analyzed your game. You were first in the list. Okay, so your game is done. Then we have knight d5 here. Knight d5 was played, and we have pawn to c4, knight to b4, and bishop to b1. And now this knight, if you see, this knight has gone out of the game after this e3 move. This knight is required on the king side to defend the castle. Okay, Abhishek, if you are listening to this commentary. And the problem is that you had not played knight f6 before in the game when I was suggesting it. You played queen to a5, and then the e4 is gone. Okay, e4 square control was not possible. Sir, can you analyze in the last? Dapati, it is already done. I have already analyzed your game. It is the first game that I have analyzed. So you can go in the recording to the previous first part of the recording, and you can uh, check the game. Your game is there already. Okay, so bishop b1, pawn a5, and pawn a3. Now look at this knight. This is a sorrow knight. It is having no scope, no future. Pawn h3, pawn f6, e takes f6, rook takes f6, and bishop to d e3. We have knight to b8, knight to g5, and queen takes queen, bishop takes. So this is something that you have missed here, Abhishek. So this move actually, uh, knight to g5, even here it was possible because this bishop is attacking this h7 square, and queen will be attacking your queen. So bishop e3 and knight b8, knight g5, queen takes, bishop takes h7 check. First you give away your pawn, and then rook takes queen, knight d7, bishop e4, pawn e5, d takes e5, and knight takes e5, pawn to f4, knight takes c4, and bishop takes c6. Now this rook to d8 is check and mate. So this is, I think the game is over here. Knight e3 and rook d8, rook f8, and rook f8 check and mate. So game was not bad game, Abhishek, but queen a5 move is something that you have to improve. Let's go back to tournament now. The next one is Rasika, who had requested to analyze. Let's check Rasika if you're online. So Rasika, there is no player with this ID who is playing this tournament. So if you're playing this tournament, I can analyze your game. And Rasika, I cannot see your ID. I can see your comment, Sujal, but if I try to search your Rasika, I cannot see anything. I should see a player name which I can find out, and then I can analyze your game. So you have to play this tournament, Rasika, if you want to get your game analyzed. Okay, Sujal, Sujal Dambe or Rasika, what your name is. So please try to play this tournament, and even one game is sufficient. I'll be happy to analyze your game. Next one is Ronit, who has requested us. Ronit 22010. Let's check with whom he's playing. He has lost with Fundulu. Fundulu is let's check Fundulu's game. So e4 was played by white side, and black has played e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop to c4, bishop c5, pawn b4. So this is the Evans gambit, guys, and bishop to b6, pawn c3, knight f6, castles, and pawn to d4. E takes d4, pawn e5, and the same variation we saw in the first game. So here I think knight g4 is playable, and d5 is also playable here probably. We have to check. D5 I think should work. Uh, so Ronit, this is a position where you have to spend some time. This opening, I feel that you are not played in a precise way after castles. Here actually you could have played d6. D6 I think was the better move here. So you could analyze this and you can then try to find the best move here. But I think d6 could have been played here, pawn e5, and then castles, or even e takes d4, c takes d4, and because d6 will stop this e5 immediate e5 push from white side, which will make sure that your knight is safe for some time and you have time to castle your king and you don't waste your moves in moving your knight again and again, which happened in the game. Okay, so pawn d4, e takes d4, and pawn e5. Then again, you have to move the knight back to this e8, pawn takes d4, and knight takes b4, queen to b3, pawn to c5, bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, and bishop to a3, pawn to a5. And if you see that you have spent a lot of effort in saving your games, saving your pieces actually. Okay, so pawn to d6, we have bishop to g5, queen to c7, e takes d6, queen takes d6, and pawn to a3. Knight goes back to c6 now, knight c3, and bishop to d4. Bishop d4, giving away bishop here, I think is not a good idea. Knight d4 might have been a better option. It attacks the queen and attacks this knight as well. You might get some tempos here to continue the game. So I think knight d4 is preferable over bishop to d4. Knight b5 is also coming very soon because the queen will be under attack. So bishop d4 was played, and I think bishop d4 can also be answered by rook d1, which will pin the bishop. And now the bishop is under pressure because after bishop e3, there is no way that this bishop can be saved because it is pinned with the queen on d6. So just making sure, guys, the stream is still live. Yeah, I think it's live. No problems with the audio and video so far. That's very good. So knight b4 is here, knight b5 is here, and as I said before, it is forking this bishop and this queen. So pawn a4, and I think this is not the right move because then this bishop is attacked thrice now with the knight and this queen. So if you save your queen, next move black white can straight away capture the bishop. So Ronit, you are taking too many risks and you are not playing the opening in the correct way. If you want to play this opening, you have to be precise, you have to be perfect over here. So after this tournament is over, I want you to go to this game. You have to go here, click on request computer analysis, and then study. Hello guys, I think we are back online. Hello guys, I think we are back online. There are again a lot of internet issues which are going on here. The connection is going on and off. So I'm really sorry for today. We had to take a couple of breaks in between, but let me go back to the game, guys. So C5 was played here, and again, I think Ronit, you have not played the right opening here. You have to be precise here when you're playing such risky openings, especially the Italian game from black side. You cannot afford just to take some risks and uh, get into a losing position like this. Okay, so let's go back to tournament and try to find the next game. So next request was from Jilani. Let's check Jilani's game. Uh, okay, Jilani. Okay, do we have few more requests after anonymous? Let's check. Darshan 12 has requested us. Darshan 12, and then we have Mahi Cap. Mahi Cap has requested us, and then we have. I think that's it. Yeah. Just a reply to all you guys. And let's next person is Jilani. Let's check Jilani's game. Jilani is Afsha. She's offline. She or he or she is offline right now, and she won against a 2300 player. Let's check what happened in the game, guys. So C4 was played here. C4 D5, G3, D takes C5, Bishop G2, Knight C6, Knight to F3, Pawn to E6, castles, Bishop D7, Queen C2, Knight F6, and Queen takes. Let me switch off the book here. It's irritating. So Queen takes C4, and then we have Bishop D6, Queen C2, Pawn H6, Pawn D3, castles, Knight C6, Pawn B6, Rook E1, and Rook to B8, and then we have Pawn to E4. So Pawn E4 is again, it's not, I think, the best move right now. There could have been other options. This is similar to the dragon setup from black side, wherein we have a fianchetto and the c file is open for us. Therein queen a5 is played generally, and queen the knight probably can go to e5 and try to come on c5, but the pawn b6 has been played. So probably c file is something that white should have tried to gain more control over to get this weak square of c6. Okay, so let's see what happened. Knight e5, pawn d4, knight takes f3, bishop takes f3, and bishop to b4. Bishop e3, we have bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and bishop to c6. Rook to d1, bishop b7, and bishop to g2. Now I think c5 is the next idea from Jilani. Let's see what happened. Pawn e5, knight d5, bishop to d2, and rook to b8. Rook b8 is a simple move just to make sure that this bishop is supported in case this diagonal opens up. So queen to a4 is played, and now pawn to a5, pawn to c4, knight to e7, bishop takes b7, and rook takes b7, bishop to e3, knight to f5, queen to b3, and knight to e7 again, pawn to d5, e takes d5, c takes d5, and knight to f5 back. So a couple of moves repeated from black side, but I think that's the right way to play. And we have pawn d6, aggression from black white side. Probably this is the losing move for white here. Knight takes e3, queen takes e3, pawn takes d6, and e takes d6. I was expecting rook takes d6 as this pawn will be vulnerable to attack, but let's see what happened in the game. Rook d7 was played, and now rook queen to e5, queen to b8. With queen to b8, queen is still attacking this pawn and also supporting this pawn. Now this rook can switch to the d8 square and try to attack this pawn again. So that's what was played, and this is again a position wherein white would feel some kind of heat here because this d6 pawn can be captured sometime in very near future. Let's see what happened. Queen c6, pawn b5, pawn to h4, pawn to b6, b4, pawn b3, queen to d5, pawn to b2, and rook to b1. So this is a straightforward pawn push which is not stoppable by white. And then rook takes d6 was played finally as this pawn was attacked thrice. And this is the way I thought when the pawn was pushed to d6 and the exchange happened here. E takes d6 is something that I was not happy about. Probably rook takes d6 was a better option, and then probably it could have been manageable for white because pawn on e5 could have been supported with pawn to f4, and I think black white could have been okay. But a nice game here from black side by Jilani Afsha. That is rook takes, and rook takes b2, and rook takes queen takes, and this is winning now for black. And this is a zugzwang position, guys. This is a beautiful zugzwang position. So yeah, Zugzwang is gone, and this is winning for black. So very good game, Jilani Afsha from your side. Precisely, you played very precisely in this game, and thanks for giving us a nice game here and showing us example. Even you can beat very good rated players of 2300 and 2400, even the grandmasters in some cases. So thanks for your game, Jilani. Let's go back to the tournament, and the next request is from chess player 91. Okay, so chess player 91. Let's see your game. Just player 91 is offline, but let's see what happened in the game. We lost against a couple of players. Let's check your game against Piyush Naik. Piyush Naik, yeah, you lost against Piyush Naik. You are playing from black side, d4, d5, and then you have played pawn c4 and pawn c6, the Slav defense, and c takes, and exchange variation of Slav defense, knight c3, knight f6, pawn e3, knight c6, pawn to f4, bishop to f5, and I think some cases queen b3 becomes a little bit annoying over here to save the p7 pawn. Let's see what happened. e6, bishop d3, bishop b4, pawn a3, bishop d3, queen takes d3, and bishop takes c3, queen takes c3, and castles now. Castles, knight to e4. So black, actually I think black is slightly better here. The reason is that this knight compared to this bishop now, and this knight can be compared to this f3 knight. So the knight on e5 or e4, sorry, e4 is a better piece as compared to the bishop on c1. There are a couple of reasons. First is this knight is in attacking position, it has an outpost. If you compare this bishop's position, bishop is not developed yet, first point. Second is, all white has is his pawns in dark squares. So as long as the pawns are going to be there in dark squares, this bishop is not going to get any space to develop or anything to attack. That is a problem, and hence I feel that black is slightly better here, as he has this beautiful knight on e4 versus this bad bishop which white has on c1. This is how, guys, you have to analyze the position, and you have to decide who is better. And if you are not in a better position, then you have to try to find a plan which will actually give you slightly better position or a slight advantage in the game. So let's go ahead. So chess player 91, if you are looking at this live broadcast later on, or the recording of this tournament, now you are having a better position right now. Let's see what happened in the game and where it was lost from your side. Queen e1 was played, queen a5, and we have bishop d2, knight. This is not required right now, guys. So if you look again, chess player 19, if you compare the pieces which are exchanging, this bishop is not at all a good piece compared to this knight. This knight is far superior. So you have to avoid exchanging your good pieces with your opponent's bad piece. Okay, this bishop is a dead piece. It doesn't have much scope as all the pawns are in dark squares. Okay, so don't exchange your good pieces with your opponent's bad pieces, which you have done here. This is something you should avoid in future. Chess player 91. Knight takes d2, queen takes d2, queen takes d2, knight takes d2, and you have simplified, and now white is happy. White has nothing to worry about. His bad pieces are off the board. He has nothing to continue. He has nothing to worry about, and you don't have a clear-cut plan here from black side. What is your winning plan after the exchange? You should exchange only if you are able to find the winning plan. And here I think winning plan is lacking, and you cannot win in this position very easily. So you should not have gone for this exchange. You should have retracted your queen and saved it somewhere else. Let's go a couple of moves back. So after bishop d2, I think queen could have been moved to b5 or at least b6 and try to attack this b2 pawn. Of course, we know that bishop is going to come on to c3 and try to defend this pawn, or at least pawn can be pushed to b4. But even though your knight is going to be saved here, which is a better piece compared to this bishop. So queen move was something I would have done here, as that would have been my choice. So that's what you missed, chess player 91 in the game, and then you went into the ending. Let's see how you continue the ending. So this was a position in the ending, not the exact ending, but we have just entered the ending now. So rook c8 was played, rook to c1 was played, and knight to a5, pawn to b4, knight to c4, and this I think is not the best move, because now this pawn is going to be the weakness. Okay, so when you exchange in this way, just make sure that you are able to support this pawn with this b pawn, and if you're not able to support, this is going to be an easy target for your opponent. So you have to be very precise here, guys, when you're putting your knight on such a square where the pawn chain can be disturbed. So this pawn chain is disturbed. The pawn has gone beyond the defense here. Okay, now in b5 was the perfect move here from Piyush Naik, which has made sure that your pawn cannot be supported with another pawn, and then your pieces will be busy in saving your pawn, and meanwhile white can spend some time to attack this pawn very quickly, not from d3, but this can happen. Okay, so let's see what happened. Pawn a6 was played, pawn a4, pawn takes, rook to a5, rook to c1, and then rook to a4. I think here you should have gone for rook takes b5. The reason is that you have this outside passer. Of course, it is going to be stopped by white after some time, but you still have this outside passer, and your king can now march on to this kind of this squares and try to get the control of e4 square also. It won't be easy, but yeah, that's what I think black should have tried here. So black played here a rook to c4, trying to save this pawn, and I think now king will march very quickly towards the pawn. Yep. Okay, so I'm just fast forwarding and looking at the king move. So black was actually winning here. I'm not sure what happened in the game which led to a loss. Okay, okay, this exchange, I think, yeah. So king b5, I think here is the culprit for your loss. Just play 19. B5 was a better move here. B5 could have saved this pawn, as it means that you have a connected passer here. Okay, and it also makes sure that this d5 push is not allowed. If d5 is played, you can just capture the pawn and give a check. So it was just a simple move here to play b5 and keep everything safe. Then their rook can go for some adventure of attacking the other pawns. So b5 should have been played here. King b5 was played, which is a mistake. E takes d5, king takes, and pawn g6. Again, pawn g6 I think is not the best move here. Pawn g6, instead of pawn g6, you could have probably played rook to b3, because this check can be then answered by rook to b3, rook a3 and rook b3, and then if rook takes b3, we can play pawn takes. So there is one doubt actually. If I play rook a3, then rook takes c5, c4 is possible. In that case, I think rook check can be given. Rook will interpose, and then you can go for rook takes rook, king takes rook, probably king to c6. As you have the outside passer, you will get some time for king to come up to here and try to capture one of the pawns here, if possible. That has to be calculated in detail. I cannot just give a random suggestion, but I think it might have been possible for you to win in here after you played rook to a3, or at least rook to a2. Okay, so that's how it should have been. G6 I think is not the right move. Rook checking moves, rook takes b7, and I think, yeah, this is how. Even here I think pawn push, rook takes, and here king c7 I think was the best move. King c7, king b6, defending the c7 square, so that this pawn cannot be stopped right now. So if king b6 here, rook to d7 is not possible. He'll try to push the pawn. So for example, pawn to e6, and now pawn to c2, pawn to e7, and pawn to c1 queens. I think this is in favor of black here. Black is having probably this queen c5 move, and king moves, and there is this check, and which can help capture the queen very quickly now. Okay, so that is something that you missed. Just play 91. So a lot of improvements for you. First of all, don't go for the exchange. Don't give away your good pieces for your opponent's bad pieces. You have to save your good pieces and capture opponent's good pieces with your bad pieces. Don't give away your good pieces in such a way. Let's go back to a tournament now. Let's The next one is to Hemang. Hemang 123 has requested us to. Okay, sorry, I think I clicked the ID. This is the. Okay, someone is streaming. Julius plus K is streaming. Okay, that's nice. I have another streamer for our tournament, guys. That's very nice. Let's check how does it look. I haven't checked any streaming, Leech's streaming till now. Let's check what it looks like. Okay, so he's streaming, but let's see how it looks like. I think this is the first time even I am looking someone uh, broadcasting my tournament over Twitch. Okay, so yeah, and I think it's a little girl or little boy who is playing, or it's done. Okay, I have to click on play probably. So just sorry guys, I'm taking some detour here. Somebody is actually streaming our tournament, so I just wanted to check who is streaming our tournament here, and that is I think it's not loading up. So let's go back. I just pause this. We'll check after some time again. This is live streamers link which comes over here. So we have to check next game from Hemang. Okay, Hemang, he's online and he's probably watching the tournament right now, live broadcast. And you have drawn with Darshan and you have won with Pagal Admi. So let's check with Darshan what happened in your game. So you are playing from black side e4, e6 French defense. Hemang, I think you are one of the experts in French defense. Let's see. Knight f d5, e takes d5, e takes d5, pawn d4, knight f6. This is the exchange variation of French defense, wherein white just tries to avoid all the complications and goes for the simple exchange here in the center. Bishop d6, bishop e3 castles, bishop d3, knight to c6 castles, and bishop e6. I think bishop g4 is more effective here, but yeah, we can still analyze in this position. Hemang, you can just analyze if just put this position on the board and just try to find out difference between bishop e6 and bishop g4. I think bishop g4 should be effective here. Okay, so we have bishop e6, and this is a symmetrical position, guys. Rook e1, pawn h6, and pawn h3, and knight to e7, queen d2, pawn c6, bishop f4, queen c7, and bishop h6. So for sacrifice here on the h6, I think that is how. Yeah, bishop f5 is okay. That's not. I think queen takes f6, bishop takes d3, pawn takes d3, and knight g6, queen to g5. Let's hold on, guys. Here, this position, bishop h6. What options do we have here? Do we need to capture the bishop, or can we go for some kind of trap here? Knight e4, knight g4, bishop h3, knight f5. No, none of them are making sense right now, so probably going for this pawn is best. And here, I think here knight g6, but this e6 is hanging. Sorry, so knight e6 is not the best move. Knight e6 will be answered by bishop takes g. Knight g6 will be answered by bishop takes g6, f takes g6, queen takes g6, queen g7, queen takes g7, king takes g7, and rook takes e6. So it's not useful. Knight g6 is not useful, guys. Bishop f5, I think, was the only move here remaining which will save some. Or knight e4 probably could have been played here. Knight e4, knight takes e4, d takes e4, bishop takes e4, and probably then bishop to f5 could have been played. Yep, I think that should be the knight e4 probably, and we need to check, guys. But knight e4, I feel here that you could have tried from black side, Hemang, if you're listening to the commentary. And then we have bishop f5, bishop takes queen takes f6, and I think this should be in favor of white, as black has his king completely exposed. Yep, I think there is nothing that black doesn't have any winning plan here. It's just waiting for that few moments wherein yep, ending should be again in the favor of white. I'm just forwarding and reaching to the position wherein. So this pawn push also again Hemang is not effective because king is nearer to the d1 square. In three moves, king can reach on d1 and stop your passer here. Okay, so you should not push this pawn in a random way like you pushed. Okay, so c b takes c5, and we have pawn to f4, pawn to d4. Rook here, I think you should have played rook to c8. Try to save this pawn, at least get some space for the king, or at least try to play f6 here. Try to attack this pawn. But c5, I think, should have been saved here instead of going for this aggressive d3 move. Okay, and this is all manageable. It is easily actually stoppable by white. Even here, I would have first played g4, not allowed this king to come on the f4, f5 square, and then I would have played the king to e3 so that your king is actually locked. There is nowhere that this king can step into. It has to go back and come via this way. Okay, so g4 I think should have been played here. King to f4, then we have pawn g3, rook to d4, king to e3, rook check, and king takes pawn. And I think this is clearly winning now for white with so many pawns on the board. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, this king needs some shelter actually. Just fast forwarding and reaching the final position because white is already three pawns up. Okay, and I think that was a draw. So white actually should have is winning actually here, but I'm not sure what he missed. Pawn push, and actually I think the king should have been brought in now. King to e7, f7, and g8. Then this rook can swing over or at least support this pawn to be pushed easily. Yeah, so h7 is not the correct move. Even here, I think this king g8 is absolutely winning out there. King g8, rook will move somewhere, and then you can actually give you can queen actually, and this check can be answered with king to h7, and you are safe and winning for white. So your opponent missed something, Hemang, and that is the reason why you were able to draw. But I think you missed a lot of moves in between. I was just trying to figure out which was the turning point of the game. Yeah, just quickly fast forwarding the position. Yeah, bishop h6 is something that I think you should have visualized as soon as this bishop has reached. So pawn c6, there is no hurry to play pawn c6 here. You can take your time. I think knight f5 was the move here which you should have played, or at least bishop f5 should have been played, so that this bishop takes h6, queen takes g takes h6, queen takes h6 is not effective, as you can exchange the bishop here, and then you get the king into a safer position. Okay, so let's go back to tournament, guys, and let's try to find the next player. So next is Darshan 12 has requested us. Darshan 12, let's check your game. Let me quickly have some water. Darshan 12, yes, he is online. Let's check what he's doing right now. So, Darshan, you have lost with one of the 2141 rated player. Let's check that game. What happened in that game? And I'm not sure. E4, E6, D4, D5, knight C3, knight F6, bishop G5, knight D7. That's a blunder right away on the previous move. It's this move itself and giving away the queen. So let's try to find some other game from you instead of this game. Darshan is from Gujarat Lions, and let's check your game against Balden Bad something. Okay. You were playing from black side, so e4, e5, knight f3, d6, Philidor's defense. D6 is called as the Philidor's defense, guys. Pawn d4, knight c6, bishop to c4, knight to f6, and you are inviting this knight g5 here, which is, I think, not the good idea because you might end up losing this pawn, Darshan here. D5, yes, d5 is available after knight g5, but this is actually a better variation for white because he has both the pawns here, and in other variation his pawn is still on d2 and the bishop is still on c4, and then you play d5 in the fried liver variation, fried liver attack. Okay, so d takes, queen takes, knight takes, and here knight takes e5 was also available for white. So knight c3 was played, bishop b4, bishop g5, and pawn h6. You are playing from the black side. Okay, bishop takes, pawn takes, and so actually your pawn h6 was not at all necessary. You could have straight away captured the e4 pawn here, Darshan. I think this is something that you have missed. This knight is pinned. So knight takes e4 is a free pawn which you could have captured right away. And then you could have played pawn to f6 to just drive this bishop away and also support the e5 pawn. And then it is, I think it's a winning position for you if you capture this. Let's just check. Knight takes e4, attacking the bishop and the knight at the same time, threatening knight takes c3. So bishop might go back and try to support this. So here you can play knight takes d2, king takes d2, and then probably pawn to f6 here can be played. And I think this is okay. This is a winning position for black with this extra pawn on e5. Of course, you have to take some efforts here. It's not like completely winning, but you have to work upon this extra pawn. You have to exchange your pieces, and in the end game, I think you should be winning very easily in this game from black side. So Darshan, you have missed this move. Knight takes e4 in your game. Okay, instead of that you played h6, and that actually led to a bad position after bishop takes f6, g takes f6 is a double pawn, which is actually is not the best position for you. Long castles, we have bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and short castles, rook d3, knight c6, and we have rook to d1, bishop to g5, and pawn h6, rook takes. So this exchange, I think, even this exchange, I think, is not the best exchange. I think you should have challenged the rooks first before putting the bishop on g4. Because d7 entry is stopped by this bishop. This rook is not able to enter the d7 square because of this bishop, and this is the advantage that you should have taken in your game. You should have preserved this bishop. In the later part of the game, you could have tried pawn to f5 as well. Pawn f5, e takes f5, bishop takes f5 could have been a good move here. Right now, rook is not able to come to d6, not to d7, not to d8. So everything is well defended here, nothing to worry about. So f5 I think is the right move here from my thinking point of view. I think f5 is what you should have gone for, Darshan here. Okay, anyways, let's go back now to the let's finish off this game quickly. Okay, you have missed a lot of moves. Yeah, this is the blunder, guys, wherein black has lost a piece, and I think we should stop here. Yep, yep, that's completely winning for black. So Darshan, just make sure that you don't make knight takes e4 move in future. Okay, let's go back to tournament. And the next request is from Mahi Cap. Mahi Cap, let's check your game and let me close other windows, except the one who was streaming live actually some time back. Okay, Mahi Cap is playing next. Mahi Cap 1. Mahi Cap is from GM Vishianand's fan chess club, and he has lost against 2157. Let's check your game. I'm picking up purposely, guys. I am picking up the games which you have lost. The reason is that you should understand where you went wrong, and next time you won't make that mistake. You will improve next time. That is the reason why I'm picking up your lost games. Don't be disappointed that sir is not showing my winning games too. No, it is for your improvement. Your for you to improve, guys. So hence I am picking up your lost games. So e4 was played here by Elgan Elgrandani. So e4 c5, Sicilian defense, knight after d6, pawn d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3. g6 is the dragon variation of Sicilian defense. So we have pawn g3. Pawn g3 is again not very popular move over here. Uh, Mahi cap. I think you should go for the Yugoslav attack if you want. And for Yugoslav attack, there is you can check the Carlson's game. Carlson has been brilliant. When he has played one game against I don't remember his name, but he was playing against a Chinese dragon, and he has absolutely given the best example of how to defend against a dragon variation from white side. And after defense is over, defense is complete, you are stable, and then you should launch your attack. So if possible, I think we might get the game here using the book option, but that's not we should spend time on. Let's go ahead. What happened in the game? Bishop g7, bishop g2, castles, and pawn a6, bishop e3, and now I think this bishop e3 without h3 is not good. Knight g4 is always annoying to me whenever I'm playing in this variation. I don't like knight g4 coming here and harassing my bishop on e3. Queen c7, queen e2, and bishop d7, rook d1, knight c6, knight takes c6, bishop takes c6, and this exchange I think is not correct. Mahi cap. I think here the pieces are actually not coordinated. If you want to attack the queen side here, as your bishops are uh, portraying that they are pointing towards the queen side, you have to launch the attack towards the queen side. Probably you should play a4 and try to restrain black's development on the queen side. Like don't allow him to play b5 break. So I think a4 was a better move here. Okay, you can still analyze in the later in the game, but a4 I think should have been played here by white side. Okay, then we have rook to d1, knight to c6, knight takes c6, bishop takes c6, and bishop to d4. Rook to c8, pawn to e5, d takes e5, bishop takes e5, and queen to b6. Now, this is a weakness, guys, b2 pawn, which black will be very happy to exploit if possible. Okay, and then we have bishop d4 back, bishop queen to a5, bishop takes c6, rook takes c6, and bishop. Yeah, this I think is not the right move. This is the first step when you have lost the control of the game. I think e7 was possible here to attack. Rook c6. I think queen takes e7 should have been could have been played. Rook e8 is the next move, but you have this queen takes b7 also available. So queen takes e7. I'm just trying to figure out what would be the trap. So knight d5 is a trap. No, it's not a trap. You can just capture back, queen takes, and then you can go for bishop takes g7. So you're absolutely fine here. But bishop takes f6 is not the right move, according to me. If you're playing against dragon, make sure that you exchange your dark squared bishop with the bishop on the g7 square. That would leave black a little bit hopeless because this is the bishop on which black tries to build its life around the game. This is the heart and soul of dragon. If you are taking this heart and soul away from black, black is of course going to not going to be in a very happy position. So don't exchange your dark square bishop with the f6 knight, but try to exchange it with the bishop on g7 whenever possible. So bishop f6, I think this is what it might have lost the game after this bishop came to c6, because now you can see everything is piling up on c3, and after this bishop will exchange on c3, you will be left with these double pawns and weaknesses on the queen side, which these queens and rooks will be very happy to exploit very soon. Okay, so rook b1 was played here, rook to e6, queen to d2, rook to d6 again, queen to f4, rook takes d1 and rook takes d1, and bishop takes c3, b takes c3, queen takes a2. As I said before, this is going to be the major weaknesses. So that is the point where you started losing after you played bishop takes f6, my cap. That is something that you should not have done. Queen c7, pawn to b5, queen e7, queen c4, queen to b4, queen takes, pawn takes, and rook to c8. And I think this is still okay, not a lost position. I think there must be some problem in the end game because of which you might have lost the game. This is actually a plus position for you, my cap. I'm not sure how you lost this one. Yep, probably you might have lost on time. This is actually winning for you. Oh, sorry, my cap. I'm really sorry you're playing from white side. I just got tired right now. I'm not able to visualize which side you are playing from. So you're playing from white side. It was not winning for you. This is already a losing position. But as I said before, that these pawns were the weaknesses, and as soon as you exchange the your bishop with f6, you started losing. So I'll just keep that position in front of you, which you can take a screenshot and you can study that position if possible. This is that position, guys. White has played bishop takes f6, the next move, which I feel is not the right move, because this bishop has to be exchanged with the dragon bishop only. You cannot exchange it with the knight because black will be happy after that. Okay, so that's the suggestion for you, Mahicap. And there are few more games right now, but I'm really tired, guys. Today I had a lot of hectic day, so probably I'll try to stop now. And I want to say sorry for the other players, Mahicap. We have done, yeah, Prathamesh Sarasapudi, I'm really sorry I could not take your game today. And mhm, okay, yeah, I think Prathamesh, you are the only Pratham. I think you are the only one whom I have not analyzed the game. Rest all I have analyzed. And Rasika, we were not able to find your ID. I'll just try to find it once again for you. If you are there, no player found. So you have to play this tournament. You have to play few games, Rasika, and then I'll be able to analyze your game. So that's it, guys. This is the final ranking for today's battle. BCC has won today's tournament with 182 points. That's a huge margin as compared to Pons Hurricane on 155. Prayagraj Future GMs on 154, a close competition for second place, and just by the margin of one single point, Pons Hurricane have got the second place. So congrats, Pons Hurricane. Congrats, Prayagraj Future Teams for the third place. Gujarat Lions on fourth. Chennai Chess Club on fifth. Vishy Anand's Fan Chess Club on 112. Abhi Chess Club on 109. Khelo Chess India, not many players playing for my team. So come on, guys. If you are playing for Khelo Chess India, please put all your efforts today, tomorrow, from tomorrow onwards, and we'll try to win the tournament. Again, Chess Blasters, a very less participation from Chess Blasters today. And we have Cuber's chess team. Okay, so Cuber's chess team also had 16 players. Let's see who had the maximum number of players today, guys. BCC had around 26 players. Pons Hurricane had 57. Prayagraj 20, 43, 11, 21, and I think Pons Hurricane are winners in the total number of players playing the tournament. Yeah, so Pons Hurricanes with 57, a huge number of players playing today for Pons Hurricane, and that is and 227 players playing today. That's again a very good number, guys. So thanks all for joining in the stream, and I'm really sorry. There was some technical glitch, so I had to. There is some part in the video wherein I won't be there in front of screen and screen might have been freeze. I'll try to remove that part, but remaining part I think we have covered very well till now. So at least 4 to 5 minutes in between we lost. So no more questions from your side. I would like to wish you again a very happy International Chess Day, guys. And this is a warm welcome and warm wishes from the Khelo Chess India family, from all the subscribers, from me, Ahmed Zaman. And I hope you will be always be there with us, not just in this year, next year, and the years to come, wherein we will be having great time online on Khelo Chess India daily live stream. And this is the first instance of Kilo Chess India's live stream, wherein we have International Chess Day coming in between, and I'm really happy I was able to do the live stream today. I have taken a break from some other work which I had on the priority, and I came today just for you guys for live broadcast. So make sure, guys, you hit the like button before you close the window today, and also make sure you share the channel with as many people as possible. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. We are reaching the 800 subscribers mark now, and soon we want to reach the 1000 subscribers as well. So it's all up to you guys how you support us and keep everything on track. So thanks, guys, thanks for joining in the stream, and see you again tomorrow. Until that time, bye bye, take care, and good